101 American English Idioms. Understanding and speaking English like an American. Section 6. When things go wrong. Lemon.
Something defective. Have you seen Joanne's new car yet?
Yeah, it looks good, but she's had nothing but problems with it.
That's too bad. It sounds like she got a real lemon.
She sure did. No sooner did she drive it home from the dealers than it proved defective and started breaking down.
Out of the woods.
Out of danger. Although Eric was well on his way to recovering from his bout with pneumonia, he was still not out of the woods. The doctors told him that he would have to take it easy and avoid exposure to cold, since he was not out of danger and difficulty yet.
Get up on the wrong side of the bed.
Wake up in a bad mood. What's the matter with Bernard today? He started shouting from the moment he stepped into the office.
I don't know. He usually doesn't act that way at all. I guess he got up on the wrong side of the bed.
Just because he woke up in a bad mood is no reason for him to be so cross and to go around shouting at everybody.
Hopefully he'll relax as the day goes on.
Amen.
Out on a limb.
In a risky position. The members of the committee realized that their position against expanding the student aid program was an unpopular one, and that they were going out on a limb by voting against the program. Nevertheless, their position was justified to a certain extent. Although they knew that they were placing themselves in a risky position, they felt that other budgetary considerations were of greater urgency.
Eating someone.
Bothering or worrying someone. Hey, Alice, what's been eating you lately? Don't you realize how rude and irritable you've become?
I know. I'm really sorry for the way I've been acting.
Well, why don't you tell me what has been bothering and upsetting you? And maybe we can work your problem out together.
I'll admit that it would help to talk to someone about it.
Get the axe.
Be dismissed, fired. I feel sorry for Richard. He was feeling quite depressed when I ran into him.
Did he tell you what was bothering him?
Among other things, he informed me that he got the axe at work.
That's strange. He's always been a conscientious worker. I wonder why they dismissed him from his job.
Evidently, he had a disagreement on company policies with one of the top executives.
In the hole.
In debt. Unfortunately, Peter had to sell his neighborhood hardware store. Because of competition from the bigger stores in the shopping center, he was going in the hole every month. His store was small and did not generate enough income to meet expenses. As a consequence, he was rapidly losing money and going into debt.
Bite the bullet.
Endure in a difficult situation.
We really had a frightening experience when we went hunting last month.
What happened?
We got lost in the wilderness and had to bite the bullet until help arrived.
Did you manage okay?
Barely. We weren't prepared for the cold weather, and we couldn't find any shelter. We had to endure in a very trying situation. We almost froze by the time they found us. Face the music.
Accept the consequences. It's no wonder you have a stomach ache. I told you not to eat so many green apples. You don't listen, and now you're going to have to face the music.
The trouble with me is that I can't stop with just one or two, especially when they're so tart. I'll admit that I tend to forget that eventually I'm going to have to accept the consequences for what I've done.
I sure hope it was worth it.
Blow it.
Fail at something.
How did you do on the history exam?
I think I blew it. There was a section on the Civil War, and that's the chapter in the book that I studied the least.
Well, at this point, you can't really be sure that you completely failed the examination. You must have done okay on the rest of the test.
Perhaps I didn't fail the entire exam, but I'm sure that I didn't do well.
At the end of one's rope.
At the limit of one's ability to cope. The Joneses' housekeeper was completely useless. Poor Mrs. Jones felt that she was at the end of her rope when she walked into the house and saw the children crying and unfed, dirty dishes in the sink, and clothes strewn all over the place. She had had to leave the house and children in someone else's care while she was off on business. Now that she came back to all of this disorder and disarray, she felt that she had reached the limit of her ability to cope with the situation.
On one's last legs.
Sick and failing.
Poor Mike. He was one of the greatest musicians I've ever known. But when I saw him the other day, he looked like he was on his last legs.
Yeah, he hardly plays anymore.
What made him give up his music?
Apparently, he lost confidence in himself at some point in his career, and he's been sick and failing ever since.
Hot under the collar.
Extremely angry. Did you see how Bill came in to work this morning?
Did I ever? Boy, was he hot under the collar.
What brought that on?
He said that he was extremely angry because he got stuck in slow-moving traffic and arrived late for an important business meeting. On the line.
In danger of being lost. Lately, Tom's been more conscientious about the accuracy and quality of his work with the company. He was warned that his job was on the line because of his lack of concern for his duties. When Tom was alerted that he was in danger of losing his job, he began to take his obligations with the company more seriously.